Hello guys, it's me Todd. Long time no video. Maybe it's been a while. I wanted to make a video about certain technology that I have long enjoyed. And unfortunately, within the past few months, a little bit of reality kicked in and well, certain pieces of my technology have stopped working. Okay, so what is it? Wi-Fi radio. Um, Beginning in late 2020 and going into 2021, um, well, I've had these Wi-Fi radios for quite a few years, and this is one of them, or at least this was one of the former ones. I call it former units because, yeah, I'm going to be getting rid of it. It's basically been almost rendered useless completely, almost. Um, this is a Grace Digital uh, Mundo. It's an older model Mundo Elite radio. Um, it's essentially a cloud-based Wi-Fi radio, which has only 10 physical presets inside of the radio itself, while everything else is in the cloud. So yeah. All right. So many years ago, these radios came out, and I was super excited by them. They were great radios. They had some great features, some great tech behind them. And I enjoy radio. I enjoy technology. And these Wi-Fi radios are nice in that they're one-stop shops for a lot of different codecs, a lot of different audio formats, podcasts, radio stations of all types from around the world, from every country on the earth. These radios could tune into them very easily through our Wi-Fi internet. You know how I am about technology. Well, these radios, these older ones, these ones made by Sea Crane, Ocean Digital, and like these in particular, the Grace Digital, were designed to give the user, the customer, access to a wealth of choices, endless number of radio stations, all stored in the cloud, but only 10 physical presets stored on the radio itself. The only other thing that was stored locally were your history of stations you tuned into. So whatever was in your history and whatever was in your presets were actually on the radio itself. Everything else was in the cloud. Receiva made a pact, made a contract with Sea Crane, Ocean Digital, and Grace Digital. And for many years, these radios worked great. And then all of a sudden, I'm guessing a contract came to a conclusion, or maybe Receiva, it's RECIVA.com, decided simply they didn't want to do this anymore. They didn't want to do it for whatever reason. I don't know if the mainframe equipment of maintaining these in the cloud servers were extensive. Maybe they were very expensive to operate. Maybe they consumed a lot of electricity. Maybe they required multiple racks of hardware that drew a lot of current, a lot of power, required a lot of air conditioning and air circulation. I don't know. There's a lot of things behind the scenes I didn't know about. But Receiva, for whatever reason, decided to bring the whole thing to a conclusion. And when they did that, which started in late 2020 and ended in October or August, September, October of 2021, these radios were rendered useless. The only useful thing about these older radios, the only useful thing they have now, they have no cloud access, no access to any of the in-cloud radio stations. Radio stations that so many customers, so many users had spent many hours on a website tailoring the channel listings according to their tastes and what they wanted. I'm no different. I did exactly the same thing. I had created playlists in the cloud, and I liked being able to access my radio stations in a certain way. Certain stations belong in certain folders. Receiva just turned it all off. C. Crane, Ocean Digital, and Grace Digital, and there were other companies too. These were not the only three, there were others. They had put all of their eggs into the basket of this entity who was acting as the central storage database for this entire scheme. And they just shut the whole thing down. And now these radios, the only feature they have left, whatever is left in the history of the radio as far as stations you visited, and the other thing is the physical presets built into the radio. This radio has 10 presets. 10. Did you hear me? I said 10. Some of these radios have 5, some have 10, some have 15, some have 20. In this one, I only have 10. I have 2 of these radios, which after this video is finished, I am going to be throwing this into the trash, as is the other one, along with its remote control, because these radios are essentially dead. They are dead. Now, a lot of customers, like myself, don't understand why, like the companies like C. Crane, Ocean Digital, and Grace Digital, why they couldn't have recreated the Receiva system, Receiva servers. In other words, not bought the servers, because obviously Receiva still considers that to be their intellectual property. But these companies could have reverse engineered the technology maybe. Although there might be some sticking points in the contract that said hands off. That's possible too. But long story short, these companies didn't bother trying to recreate the Receiva system so to keep these radios operating. I mean, obviously these radios are older. I get that. So these are definitely older radios, older technology. You know, they're from a era that is more than a decade old. I get it. I get it. I understand. But yeah, they didn't recreate the Receiva system or even attempt to. Maybe they were under contract not to do it. If that's true, then Receiva had a really sweet deal. That way, when they decided to just toss in the towel and say, we're done, these companies couldn't do anything to salvage the system. All these older radios that were so dependent upon the older system of Receiva basically became dead technology. So I have presets in here. Oh yeah, I've got presets. I got 10. And I have a history list of channels. But compared to the number of podcasts and actual radio stations that I had in the cloud on this radio, it does not compare. It does not compare. I mean, we're talking, and I think this radio is buffering.
Gave the most viciously partisan personal assault I think any American president has ever given. I can't remember any other speech that had the kind of vitriol,
Okay.
the kind of...
So this radio has presets in it and has a history. So a very select few stations are left in this radio. Maybe 10 or less. I don't think I completely filled out all 10 of the physical presets in this radio. But what I did do is I realized an opportunity. When I saw the history of stations that I had visited, I thought, well, I better hurry up and put these into the presets. That way, the link to the radio station will remain intact locally on this radio. And that's what was important, was to take your history and use your presets and decide which stations get saved into the presets. I did that, and it wasn't perfect, but I mean, I take radio very seriously. I love technology. I love radio. 10 presets is not enough. It's not enough. No way on this earth is it enough. So, yeah. So that's what's been happening for the past few months with this radio. This was my bedroom radio, by the way. Since the time when the shutdown started, when I first started hearing about it, I immediately thought, so my Grace Digital Wi-Fi radios are going to be rendered completely useless. Well, that's not fair. So what I did is I decided to explore other Wi-Fi radios from other companies. And so I tried out Ocean Digital. But here's the catcher. These Ocean Digital radios are not using Receiva. They're using Skytune.net, which is a different point of origin for the stations. Yeah. So here's my, what is it, WR23D or WR23F. I'm not really sure what but it's by Ocean Digital. And it uses Skytunes.net for its radio station access. But there is a big difference in this radio, even though this radio is so much smaller. It also runs on a rechargeable battery that can be charged up anytime, which it's charging up right now as we speak. But it has a built-in rechargeable battery. It has a built-in FM radio. It has a built-in DAB and DAB Plus tuner, which isn't really useful here in the United States because we don't use DAB, we use HD radio. And it also has a built-in Bluetooth tuner. So you can use your cell phone and stream files from your cell phone and have it played on this. So this is a little bit of an all-in-wonder. Plus it has DLA or DNA, DLA, DNA, PNP, plug and play. Like if you've got like media servers on your network, This will tune them in, and you can play them through this. But there's another big feature on this radio that I don't think too many people talk about, but is one of its most powerful features of all. It has 99 presets built into it. 99 local, in the radio presets. Not stored on a distant computer in the cloud. 99 presets on board this device. This thing literally has a web server. So on your computer, your laptop, or your Chromebook, or whatever you have, you can go on there and connect to the web server that is built into this radio, and you can manipulate those 99 presets. You can set those 99 presets to whatever you want. You can use SkyTunes to look up your stations. If you know the link directly, you can program the link in directly, and you don't have to use SkyTunes. So this is a pretty good radio right here. This is an Ocean Digital WR, I think it's a 23D or a 23F. There's a brother radio. This is the Ocean Digital WR26. It's almost identical to this one, except it's got this really tiny screen. Yeah, but it's got the same web interface. It's got the built-in FM radio. It's got the built-in DAB and DAB Plus tuner. It's got the same Bluetooth tuning capability. It's got the same DLA, DNA, PNP, PUP. Basically, if you have a media server on your network, this too can access your media server and play those files through the speaker built into this radio. And it's got a rechargeable battery, just like the other one. And it too is made by Ocean Digital, and it's a WR26. These radios are immensely popular in Europe. They're only somewhat popular over here because we don't use DAB over here in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. We use HD radio. But these radios also do have FM RDS, you know, that radio digital like display service, the radio display service that appears on some radios. Both of these radios have that, so they'll display that too, by the way. But yeah, so this one's got 99 presets. This one has 99 presets. This cost me $60. This cost me $50. $110 between these two radios. 99 presets each. 200 presets between the two radios. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, I had found a solution to this. But there are some things that the Grace Digital radios could do that these two little radios can't. Now you can put iHeart radio stations into these radios. You can do that. They work. But you can't put Sirius XM, and you can't put Pandora. You can't put Spotify. You can't put TuneIn Radio. Well, maybe that's not entirely true. You can copy links from TuneIn Radio using the developer options under your web browser. Copy the link directly into a preset, and there you go. But there's a better way to do it. So, I know Grace Digital is not the one responsible for the shutdown of Receiva. I know that. Sea Crane Company is not responsible for the shutdown of Receiva. Ocean Digital's older radios, Ocean Digital is not responsible for the shutdown of Receiva. These are newer Ocean Digital radios. Ocean Digital made radios that used Receiva's servers in the past, but they stopped doing that a couple of years ago. I wonder why. So, Grace Digital knows that a lot of its customers are upset. They feel betrayed. And Grace Digital, Seacrane, and Ocean Digital are trying to make things right with their customers. I get it. I get it. Receiva was the demon here. Receiva was the bad guy. Grace Digital was not the bad guy. Seacrane Company was not the bad guy. And Ocean Digital were not the bad guys. They decided to put a lot of their eggs in the one basket. Shame on you. But you're obviously not the bad guy here. And I get it. So I decided to give Grace Digital another chance. Grace Digital was trying to make things right with its customers. So what they did is they offered a one-time discount for its customers that have purchased previous radios like these towards a newer radio which did not use the Receiva servers and instead uses the Grace Digital servers. But also there's several other key differences. Unlike the older radios, which only had 5, 10, 15, 20 presets, Grace Digital, Seacrane, and Ocean Digital decided to make things right. They decided to make Wi-Fi radios that had 100 presets built into them. Some of their radios have 250 presets, but those are very expensive. But their main radios have 100 presets built into the radio, stored locally. So what I did is I went online and I purchased their newer model Mundo Elite. I decided to use their one-time use discounted coupon. I used it twice because I have two of these radios that are being thrown away. So I decided to get 2 of these. And I did. I think it was a $60 or $70 discount off the cost of the radio. And I took advantage of it. I really wanted the extra capabilities that this radio had. This one's got the 100 presets, just like the Ocean Digital ones have. But this one also has Sirius XM built into it. It has iHeartRadio interface built into it. It has many of the features that the customers liked about Receiva, even though I don't think it's quite the same. Obviously, these companies cannot reuse the Receiva system. They can't completely recreate the Receiva system. Thus, they might make themselves liable, and Receiva could haul their asses to court and sue them for millions and millions and billions of dollars, whatever. Anyway, whatever. But they kind of brought back the experience with the unlimited number of in-cloud stations that you could store, but it's on Grace Digital servers through this radio. And if you get a Seacrane version of a similar radio, you're going to find that Seacrane has done the same thing and has created a system of servers which is similar to what Receiva had previously. And that's basically what's happened here with Grace Digital. The in-cloud stations are back, but the ones you had stored previously are all gone. So you basically have to recreate what you had in the cloud. And that's what I've done. And from that in-cloud storage of stations that I put on my account in the cloud through Grace Digital, I have selected a few of those to become my 100 presets built into the radio. So that if Grace Digital ever decides, if their servers ever go down, if they crash, if they get taken over by a hostile force or entity, whatever, those 99 to 100 presets built into this radio can still access the internet radio stations without the help of Grace Digital. So I'm not at the mercy. I'm not at the mercy of Receiva. I'm not at the mercy of Grace Digital. My podcasts are at the mercy of Grace Digital that are built into this. But the radio stations that I like the most, stored locally inside the radio itself. So I can manually connect to the station without having to even bring Grace Digital into the mix. I push a button, the radio will go out and connect directly without having to bring Grace Digital into the mix. So I hope this all makes sense as far as how it works. Oh boy. Oh, something happened here. Anyway. So yes, I haven't given up on Grace Digital. I still feel a little let down that they would put all their eggs into a single basket of Receiva. Thereby, when Receiva shuts down, their older radios become bricks. Well, goodbye, old radio. It was nice knowing you. It was nice having you. You were a good radio. But you gotta go. Sorry. Even though I have these presets now filled with stations, 10 presets are not enough. They're just not enough. It just won't work. It won't fulfill what I wanted to do. These Ocean digital radios are amazing in that not only are they a Wi-Fi radio, but they have a built-in FM radio. They have a built-in Bluetooth so that you can send your stuff from your phone to this radio. It has a built-in media server connectability, so whatever media servers you have on your network, it'll pick it up. Again, if you live in Europe, these radios do use the DAB, and DAB+. Can't do it here in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. But we can do the same thing even without DAB, because all of the stations that are available on DAB in the UK and in Europe are actually technically available through the internet. And all you got to do is create a preset that links to it in your radio. By the way, even though these have increased in price, they haven't been affected by the pandemic in terms of being able to buy one of these. Sure, the price has gone up. I only paid $60 for this, and I paid $50 for this one. This one is now $84 retail off of Amazon. This one currently is unavailable on Amazon, and that might be because this is an older radio, slightly older, and I don't think a lot of people bought this particular unit, so because it doesn't have the nice, beautiful display screen. I am actually half tempted to purchase another one of these. I may wait until the price comes down. At $84, it's still pretty good. But I might wait for it to come back down to $60 again or $70 before I actually make the purchase, because then I would have 3 Ocean digital radios, 99 presets, 99 presets, and get a third one, another 99 presets. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, plus it's got FM, plus it's got Bluetooth, plus it's got media server connectability on your local network. There is one additional feature of this Grace Digital radio, the new one. The USB port on the back of the unit. You can take media on a USB drive and plug it into the back. This radio will scan it and will play it. So yeah, that's nice. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. This video is now 30 minutes long. Shame on me. I just wanted to give you an idea of the current state of affairs with Wi-Fi radio for those of you that care. I care because I love technology. And internet radio, Wi-Fi radio, having a Wi-Fi radio is important to me because I enjoy having a device that is dedicated to that particular function. And that means that I can use my laptop for something else. I don't have to run the music and everything else off the same laptop. I can use the laptop for a completely different purpose. It's focused. The Wi-Fi radio can do its job, and it just works in the end. So there you go. Plus, internet radio, a lot of people might say, well, radio's dead. Kind of, but not completely. I just recently purchased the very last edition of the World Radio TV Handbook, which was in its 25 to 30 years of continuous publications in paperback, and 76 years being published beyond that. So after 76 years, 76 editions of the actual book, and 25 to 30 years of continuous print, continuous new editions of the book every single year. 2020, 2022 is the last year that you will be able to get the World Radio TV Handbook. Passport to World Band Radio ended many years ago. Now, the World Radio TV Handbook comes to an end. And my copy just arrived. I just got it a few days ago. I'm very happy. There have been a few years where I have not bought a copy of the book, but I thought, well, you know what? This is going to be the very last edition of the series. So I'm going to buy a book this year. And I did. A little pricey, but it's the final edition. So I thought, why not? Anyway, I'm a geek. Some people would call me a nerd. Don't really think of myself as a nerd. I do consider myself to be a geek, for sure. I just like technology. I always have. I think I always will. So with that, I bring this video to a conclusion. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you might be doing. I'm going to be sleeping, because I got to go to work tonight.